Hi people, welcome back to my channel, or rather to my platform. And I'm more about mental health, wellness, self-discovery, and self-awareness. And I talk about different topics every day. And today I just wanted to share something that I have been thinking about, and like something that I shared with my therapist during my last session. Because I find it interesting, and I find this topic very, very interesting. And we were talking about, where people come from and their environment, and the environment in which they grew up in. And for me, for me, I grew up in Nyeri town. And so I was, I would experience the Nyeri woman one on one. I was born and raised in Nyeri. And for me, I feel bad when people stereotype the Nyeri women. And, when even when somebody asks me, you're a Kikuyu from where? And I say Nyeri, and they're like, oh, women from Nyeri normally do this and that. And I just wish internally, like sometimes people would understand that this is just a stereotype, because there is so much that goes into making a person that people don't get to see. There's so much behind the scenes. Even let's take for example, like a movie. There's so much that goes behind the scenes. So even in somebody's life, and even in the process of somebody becoming, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, or don't get the opportunity to experience. They only see the finished product, or like the small tiny bits that make up the whole movie, but then nobody exposes you to the behind the scenes. And so I just wanted to give a perspective of the Nyeri woman from my end, from what I experienced. And there is no strong woman like a Nyeri woman. A Nyeri woman is a very strong woman because, Nyeri, there is a lot of coffee and there is a lot of tea that grow there. And also they do a lot of daily farming, that is keeping cows, and they also keeping cows for milk production. And they also tend to most of the time work on the farm to have, farm produce, like vegetables, like cabbages, spinach, kales, carrots, and potatoes, those things. So they do like farming, the normal farming, but then is to sell their products. And I used to see women going to the farm early in the morning. I used to see women carrying heavy loads of cow feed. I used to see women are the ones who are milking the cows, taking the milk to the dairy press. And they would also, just make sure the cow is fed, take care of poultry if they have like chickens, and if they have like pigs, or like even goats. I would see women doing things that society the society would call those roles as a man's role. And so a Nyeri woman, to me and to my eyes, even growing up, was a very strong, independent woman. And a Nyeri woman would also always do things without even waiting for somebody. And I think that is also something that my mom taught me, and my mom socialized me. She would always tell me, like, do things, don't wait for somebody to come and do them. You have to do it yourself. And so seeing women who were where I was growing up, and having me seeing how they are doing things, for me, I thought it is a normal thing, because even like, like even putting up hanging lines to hang clothes, I saw those things being done by women. And I'm like, wait, is this not supposed to be done by a man? Is this not supposed to be like a man's job to take care of those two small but big, money handiwork? Is it not supposed to be a man's job to fix the hanging lines, to go fetch water with a wheelbarrow, and I would see women like carrying wheelbarrows and fetching water. And like even to feed cows, for me, I thought like this is a man's thing. Like a man should be able to do that. But then in my mind as well, and even in my observation, even as a young girl, I never used to see a Nyeri man being present at home. They were not present, they were not in the household, kind of situation. And I'm talking from my observation. This might be different for other people. Today, I'm talking about my observation growing up. I wouldn't see a Nyeri man being actively involved in the affairs of the home, in terms of like helping the kids with homework, or like doing things around the house for that person to be felt their presence, because like you cannot just exist with people and they don't feel or see your presence, or like see the difference of you being there and you not being there. So that was something that really shaped my thinking and my understanding of what a woman does and a man does, because like in my eyes, a woman would like do it all. A woman would do it all, and I would experience seeing that and living that, even in my own inner circle. Like I would see that happening a lot. So I don't appreciate when people talk about the Nyeri woman in a negative perspective, because they just don't, they talk from a place of ignorance and arrogance, because when you don't know something and when you don't have a larger picture of what is going on, or like I said, the behind the scenes, then you don't have the right information to be able to judge or give a perspective. You're going to do that from a place of being like from just prejudice and stereotype. So and like I said, nearly there's a lot of coffee and tea. And these things are things that are normally picked in the morning. Like you have to pick coffee and tea early in the morning, like literally early in the morning. And so the woman would wake up in the morning to go and pick tea or even pick coffee, depending on what is in your farm. And mind you, you have to do that before the sun comes up. It has to be at a time when the sun has not yet come up for it to burn those things and like take the moisture out of them. So you can imagine like you're doing that around, from anytime from 5:30 to like around 6:30 latest, but like 7 wouldn't find anyone in the shamba. Maybe it's when they are like doing the final touches. And then the sad part of this whole story was the one woman is the one who is picking up the tea, all the coffee, and then they're the ones who are tending to the farms. Don't forget, I mentioned that the women are the ones who would tend to the shamba. And then when it's time for that coffee or that tea to be paid, the dues used to go to a man's account. So you know even you, on a very very basic level of understanding, how can you do all that hard work, and then somebody else picks all that hard work and just goes away with it? And they wouldn't some would do their responsibility of taking kids through school, but then others would squander that money with alcohol and prostitutes. So they would go get the bonuses, the tea bonuses and the coffee bonuses, and then they would spend that money and come back home with nothing, and the woman is left to fend for the kids and the husband, and is also left to like take care of the household with nothing. Now it's like you're starting all over again. You've been doing all this hard work, you're not getting the returns of your hard work, and then you have to keep on starting over and over and over again. And so like, just put yourself in that person's shoes. Don't you think at some point you're going to get like a resentment towards this person who is taking away literally your hard work? And mind you, this person is never like there this person is never there. It's not like he's getting you off the load from your back of like maybe when you're in the farm. It's not like he's going to like maybe like prepare lunch for the family or like do anything else or like help you with other things. No, he's still leaving all those things on you for you to do them. They only get the benefits of your hard work. At some point you'll get some resentment, and that is when the resentment comes in. That is where people or like somebody would go to the extreme of cutting off somebody's private parts, or like just having that bitterness, and they are tired and they have built up bitterness and resentment. And when that thing wants to come out, it might come out in a way that you never imagined it will. Or even at some point yourself, you're going to hold yourself back and be like, oh my god, what did I just do? So yeah, I wanted to share that story because I think most of the time when I hear about people talking about the Nyeri women, or when you express to somebody that you're a woman from Nyeri, they kind of look at you in amazement and tell you like, hey, you are those women who normally do A, B, C, and D. But then I normally ask somebody, have you ever taken time to really understand where those women come from? Nobody is supposed to harm the other person, and nobody is supposed even to not only harm to even take somebody's life or even to take advantage of somebody, but then the circumstances at which that normally leads to, it comes from a place of bitterness, it comes from a place of anger, it comes from a place of resentment. And so we are the environment that we are in, because if you're not exposed to such information, there is no way you can make sense of that whole situation. For me, it still doesn't make sense of the violence that used to be done to men, but then women never had that support of being told that um the hard work that they are putting is worth for them to go back to them, and not go back to benefit the man who is going to squander that money in alcohol, or even how to deal with their anger and how to deal with their resentment. That is why we had these cases of like women just being something that you wouldn't understand, because it was a scary season. It was a scary season when we used to see those headlines that a Nyeri woman has done ABC and D, or like something has happened to a man who are from Nyeri, and the woman was responsible. But then I'm happy because now we no longer hear those stories anymore. They are not as much. But then I just wanted to give a little context of things that go behind the scenes, because this is not things that you're told. You have to be in that society for you to know what happens, or like what was going on, or like why things were being experienced or being done in a certain way. So I hope this changes your view about the Nyeri women. And Nyeri woman is a very, very strong, independent woman. And because, of how we are raised, how we are socialized, I think I have already said that I was socialized to be this strong, independent woman and not to wait for anybody to do stuff for me. And then also because sometimes the situation that you are in doesn't allow you to be like, to just sit down and relax. You have to do things. And also don't forget, the Kikuyu community is both matriarchal and patriarchal. The household can be run by a man or a woman, and they are equally doing their thing. So yeah, the Kikuyu community, like even the women are strong figures, because you remember way back there was like people like Wango Wamakeri, and then even also in the Kikuyu myth, or the Kikuyu narrative of creation, Mumbi was such a significant figure in that myth, and so like in the Kikuyu culture, a woman is not just another human being. A woman is somebody who was given value. And homesteads, Kikuyu homesteads, they have like a woman who has a voice, and like a woman who can run the home. So Yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you, because when you get a perspective, you get to understand so many things and behind the scenes. And I hope, this conversation is going to trigger something in you, or like it's going to educate you on something that you didn't know about a community or like a culture. And also, please let me know of your stories down below. Please comment in the comment sections. Let me tell you what you think of that regional narrative that I've just shared with you. I would like to hear your thoughts on that as well. And, tell me your experiences growing up. What did you see women in your community doing? What did you see men in your community doing? You never know who you're helping, or like you never know who you're going to help understand why things are done in a certain way. And that goes a long way in understanding each other, and also in understanding why we are the way we are, from a place of the environment that we grew up in. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.